This is going to be your guide to using the Bone Horn in Monster Hunter Wilds. So my last video, I was wrong. I said it's going to take like an hour of practice when learning a new horn, that way you just have everything down. No, it takes longer than that if you want to achieve perfection and maximum skill expression. Because just learning the basic things you need to do is just the start. Also, in that video, I didn't do enough hilt stabs. That's where a lot of extra tech is going to come into play. So if you're completely clueless on how, like, all the crazy stuff in the hunting horn works, you need to watch that video, because that's the hunting horn setup video. This is how you actually use the bone horn. And this video is going to have over a dozen hours of practice behind it just to get everything down. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing the basic Echo Wave spam combo where you need to get those hit stabs in. So it's about making everything as fast as possible and having all of your opportunities lined up. So in my last video, I talked about like the quick setups you want to learn, where it's like, okay, you do something and then hit stab, and then you go for super duper fast attack up and defense up. So all those buttons, you just need to get down, and you need to get that natural flow of how everything works together in strings. So you can use an echo bubble for flavor to kind of speed up a little bit of your setup. As I even said in that video, it's kind of grief, but other than that, you actually like want to learn the quick attack. So standing swing on the left swing is going to be better than the forward smash, at least when it comes to speed. So the big practice is going to be the opener, where you want to come in and look really cool on getting everyone set up as fast as possible. And there we go, everything's buffered, you get your hilt stabs in, and if you can manage to do that on top of an enemy, cool. But if it's still like early in the fight and it's kind of rampaging and has a lot of energy to knock you down, you just want to stay away. You don't want your level 2 buffs to get interrupted. You can just do this. Just chill. Now you're set up. Now you can get in there, and now you can use everything to your advantage. And this is another thing where I was having difficulty in that video trying to do the Echo Wave, because pressing 2 buttons while trying to buffer and get everything right, you're going to mess up, and then you're going to hit circle, and now it's like, oh man, I'm kind of screwed. Except you're not, because the next layer, beyond all the stuff I showed in that previous video, is that you have to learn how to salvage a mistake. So this actually isn't bad, because now we can go into Resounding Melody. I know it's resounding by like calling it resounding, because when you hit it, it just kind of like echoes through all the enemies. So never mind. So that's why I said like 1 hour isn't enough. Maybe like an hour in the practice dummy, and then you go out in the field and hit things for a bit, and then you need to go back to the practice dummy just to kind of clean up all of your hilt stabs and make sure like you're not missing or messing anything up. And then you get into really weird technical stuff I didn't even know about, where instead of leeching 1 note, you leech 2 notes. So with this, we went Sonic Barrier into Resounding Melody, because that purple-red goes into the purple-red, and then we have the 2 double notes for the Resounding Melody, so now we can weave in a Sonic Barrier, and that's while attacking the enemy, and then you can also use the Echo Bubble to kind of either make up for mistakes or set up other plans that you have for attacks. And here's something else you can look out for, is that you just go for the beginning part of Resounding Melody, and this gives you an Echo Bubble to use inside of it. And this isn't a performance, so it keeps everything you had, which means you go into another one if you need to or want to, or you're trying to like make up for a mistake, and then you can kick off your performance. All while a large dragon is trying to kill you. Oh, and I got so focused on looking flashy for the combos, I forgot to talk about why you even want to run the Hardened Bone Horn over the other horns. Well, the Hardened Bone Horn actually gives above average DPS, as well as really good supportive and offensive capabilities. So we can see that through the attack up and defense up, that you can just lay down a lot of useful stuff for your team, and then you get the attack up so everyone else is stronger, and then you come in and you start laying down the damage. So if you like a mixed playstyle of supportive DPS, this gives you a lot of room to just kind of like set up and feel useful, and then go in and do the big damage. If you get like staggered out or you don't find good openings, you still feel like you're doing enough. It's also a blunt weapon that has very heavy knockdown power, so ideally, once you actually like master doing everything inside of combat, then you focus on your positioning, which I'm still not even there yet, and that's where you want to aim for those headshots on the Hardened Bone Horn. So the Hardened Bone Horn has that chonky damage and good utility, and as long as you play in between those lines, you can still feel pretty useful even when making a couple of mistakes. So my base guide just kind of showed like all the basics of the hunting horn, and then this one takes it to the next level for the bone horn combo specifically, and again, those extra chains and extra things to look out for just to make sure you have peak efficiency. And that's about like perfect play. You don't have to play perfect, and as you can see, the hunting horn is so technical that perfection is effectively impossible to achieve. But if you can just always go for it, try to pick up your strings, try to make sure you're not messing up too much, and then you get that muscle memory down, or know how to salvage something if you mess up, then you're good to go. And then you just kind of keep everything else together, where it's like, all right, the big thing is that opener, so make sure you have all of that stuff just kind of buffered and ready to go, like boom. So that's the quick setup without wasting an echo wave. And the cool thing is you can accidentally double tap if you start with self-improvement, because it ends with self-improvement, and then you're fine. And then looking for the leeches after that, where if you want to get really spicy, well now, you do that, and then there's the hilt stab double hit. So now we have all of our setup and a resounding melody, and that's just your opener. And you just gotta practice that alone a lot. And then I want to go into double crazy extendo opener. So, like, again, once you really drill that muscle memory, it gets really nice. So we're doing our playing, and then we're going to go into a sonic barrier. So that's going to be overhead, buffered, hilt stab circle, double into buffer. So now we have our resounding melody and a sonic barrier. If we just want the free attack, we can go wind pressure negated. So we just line up all of our bars, and then that's where we can now use our echo bubbles for the echo waves and stuff. Unfortunately, I did double triangle, so that overwrote the sonic barrier with a self-improvement. But you can set up, get into combat, and then have everything you want. Also, in my other guide, I said having an echo bubble with your resounding melody isn't that important, but it actually does give you the echo effect. So once again, just like more setup to really bounce there. I'm tired already, and we still have to do this in combat. Also, this guide is for the Bone Horn 4 and Hardened Bone Horn. If you want to get a Hunter Symbol 1, that's going to be from like earlier tempered monsters or like lower level tempered monsters. I have a guide on how to get Hunter Symbols if you need like specific help with that. And then to save you guys the trouble of a Google search, if you want the Bone Horn 4, that's Colossal Bone, high rank Conga. So just the little dudes, you kill them, and then you can get the Colossal Bone off of carving them up. If you want Great Stout Bone, that's going to be high rank Doshagama. And then we go into the Hardened one, which is going to be Monster Hard Bone. That has a lot of different fights. Dragon Bone Relic is going to be interacting with bone piles after unlocking a high rank. So depending on like what you're farming, such as if you're doing the food event with the Quima Trace, it's a very easy spammable fight. And then at the end, there's a couple of ore to mine and 2 bone piles, or you can just farm bone piles until you get a relic. And you can pick up a beast gem from the Doshagama high rank fights. So yeah, just go out there, kill a lot of things and farm, and hopefully you already have just a lot of the materials ready, or you can quickly pick up the other ones. Do I really just go in and slam a tempered Arcveld SOS for the first time for the sake of this video? Sure, why not? I think I'm practiced enough, even though I haven't, like, optimized my gear for it. And that's all. This video doesn't have builds. This video is just how to use the horn. We're still a ways off from builds. You need to learn the horn so you can farm effectively, then you can worry about builds. So this is also why I'm like, yeah, I'm just playing these things. And now I'll try to get to the point where if I'm doing this good, we can get even better with builds specifically for what we're farming, and the Arcveld is just like the apex endgame. Yeah, so these guys are already in it. Let's go and help them out with our quick setup. So we got all of that. Gonna get in a little closer just to make sure everyone hears the dutes. Alright, they're set up, and I managed to hit. So that's why it's like you gotta look for all of those opportunities that you can take. Then we can go into that echo combo I talked about that I haven't really practiced too much. But boom, we have all of our melodies and stuff. And now, if I can get... Oh, if I can not immediately die, that'd be pretty awesome. So now we can go for some kind of hits. Alright, so we get all that. We set up another one of these. And then we can leech hits into a double resounding melody if we need to. Like that. Alright, cool. And then do some cool stuff. Our attack up is gone, so we need to get that back in. Turn that into some other hits. Dance a little bit, where we can set up at least some of our resounding melody, and then just go for it. Oh, we missed that. But then we can kick off and just hurt. So it's the same kind of gameplay, while just trying not to die and finding some opportunities on the enemy. So now we can do that. So like, boom, we have that set up. We can start the hilt stab combo into our blunts with the ending of the resounding melody. So that kind of gets crazy. Let's give that dust of life to the homies. And find out where we were. So yeah, that turned into a self-improvement. Fine. We can put down another echo bubble. And then we can go for the melody. Hopefully that one connects. Just a little bit. We are just getting dropped. It's also defense up into a sonic barrier mid-fight. We can do that. And now we need to pick up with... Oh, actually, wow. New combo discovered. Defense up, sonic barrier, resounding melody, wind pressure negated in the midway. So you can just do that. And then inside the bubble, and now we can just like big slam it. And now we just want dance and turn our infinite library of stuff into things we can do. So we messed up there because we're just under an insane amount of pressure. And then we can still do the things we want to do. Like that. And now it's going to be melody for the huge hit into another song. Again, it's impossible to play perfect, but I'm trying my best here. I've only got one echo bubble, second one coming up. So people were like critical. They're like, hey, you don't have enough echo bubbles on them. Brother! You gotta get the echo bubbles on them, and that's crazy. Alright, so our melody effects are wearing off. Hopefully this is like the end stage of the fight. I'm just, Oh, sick, we got it. Whoa, we actually caught it? Bro. Japanese are just on a different level. So yeah, hectic. A lot of cuts because it was scuffed. And then keeping everything up for effectiveness. Neat. Oh yeah, one thing I messed up a few times in that fight that a comment pointed out in my hunting horn guide is that if you're standing still, you can pull out the horn and not cause a note. That's kind of tricky when, like, yeah, you're trying to run, you're trying to keep up, and then, like, you have to stop to not do that. So that's another part of muscle memory that you want to learn. So that way you can sprint up, stop, and then unsheath without screwing up your combo. But even then, like, I let go, waited a beat, that wasn't long enough. So that's why you might screw it up or not think, like, oh, you can just stop and then you're fine to pull it out. But you have to wait that extra, like, little bit more than a second. And that's not going to mess up your combo and let you stay agile and mobile on the bone horn. There we go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.